to prepare for newborn baby so your time postpartum will be as stress-free and calm as possible. I'm here today with my sister Cecilia, and they're expecting their first child in how long?
In just a week.
Yeah. We had our third baby about 8 months ago now, and we found out that the more we can prepare ahead of time, the better. So let's dive in. Tip number 1 is sorting the baby's clothes. So you had quite a lot of clothes given to you, correct?
Yes, quite a bit actually.
Yeah, and you also probably buy a lot when you have a baby. So all that clothes you have, it's really nice to sort that ahead of time. So you have them in the newborn phase, the 3-month phase, and the 6-month phase. Remember, wash it first so you get all those nasty chemicals out of it. But then put it away so the 6 months is furthest away, then the 3 months, and then the newborn stuff. So you always have the clothes you'll need next ready for taking out. So let's do that now.
Okay, so we have clothes for the baby for the first 3 months here in the drawers. Clothes for the next 3 months under the bed.
And clothes from 6 months and up are going to our basement. Tip number 2 is know how to use your car seat. So a lot of people probably have car seats and strollers and combos so you click in and out, and that's great. But if you're at the hospital, you had your baby, and then you have to figure out how to set the car seat into the car, then that could be an issue because you already have like a baby here and something else here in a bag, and you don't want to do this the first time with like one hand or stressed or tired or whatever. So we're going to go down and have you hook it up into your car and into the stroller. Yay! Okay, let's attach that car seat.
This is actually my first time. I've never attached a car seat before, but I think a week before the baby comes is probably due.
Time for the stroller.
Let's try it. Perfect. And it's in.
Baby's ready for its first stroll. Tip number 3 is take a nap. So have you had this tip given to you before?
I have.
Everyone always says, sleep now. I hate it when they said that because I can't sleep, I'm uncomfortable, I feel like a whale, I can't sleep. So take a nap if you can. If you can't, then relax. Put your feet up, do whatever you need to do to relax mentally and physically. But if you can't take a nap, don't stress out about that. You will have time to nap later on. Yes, it gets stressful when the baby comes, but it's not the end of the world. Sleep when you can, relax now. With that in mind, why don't you take a little relaxing time while I go into the kitchen and do the next 2 steps. Okay. Tip number 4 for when you prepare for newborn baby is to meal plan ahead of time. Because when you first have a baby, you do not want to cook. And your husband does not want to cook. And no one really wants to cook. So maybe someone will bring you meals, which is great. But it's also really nice to be prepared and have a few meals in the freezer you know everyone in the family likes. So I'm going to make meatballs, Danish meatballs. They're called frikadella for my sister and her husband today. And I really hope they like them. But if you've ever been in a situation where it would have been so nice if someone brought you a meal, or if you had something in the freezer you just pop out, then comment in the comment section below and say, easy food. Now, let's go. So the food is basically done now. We just need to wait for it to cool down and then stick it in a Ziploc bag and then into the freezer. I also cleaned up because you do not go into a pregnant woman's house and leave a mess. She's 39 weeks pregnant and you just don't do that. So this is going to be ready for her whenever she needs it. Let's move on to the next tip. Although, Cecilie, how's it going in there?
Oh, good. I'm fine. Everything is just fine in here.
That was my fault as much as yours.
Mm-hmm. Tip number 5 for when you prepare for newborn baby is to have snacks on hand. And this is a really important one because you want snacks when you just had a baby. And yours might be something you can just go down to Walmart and pick up. But mine is brownies. And I can't go here and just pick up a brownie mix because they don't exist here in Denmark. So I made my own brownie mix. So I can just take it and make a small, medium, large brownie, or even send someone else to make it for me because the mix was ready. So if that's your thing, then follow along. If it's not, then think about what snacks you will want once the baby comes, because you will want some. There we go. Now the brownie mix is ready for my sister, but I'm gonna add a little note to it and say how many cups of the mixture they need to mix with 1 egg and a little bit of water and oil. That's it. It's awesome. So think about your snack and let's check in with Cecilia. How's it going, Cecilia? Cecilia, how's it going? I think I'll just run out and do the next one myself. Tip number 6 when preparing for newborn baby is to stock up on essentials. Because no one wants to run out of toilet paper or shampoo or detergent when you just had a baby. And you probably won't feel like running to the grocery store after the first few days. So stock up on those essentials. Let's go shopping. Did you get a good nap? Yeah. Okay, let's continue to prepare for newborn baby. Tip number 7 is to take care of the older siblings. So your baby won't have an older sibling since it's the first, but we have 3 kids, and it's a life-changing event for them as well. And they might not understand all the things that are happening. So it's really important to also take care of them. We did a few things to ensure this. One of them was to buy a lot of board games and books so that we could play games and read to our other kids in bed with the baby and bond together so they didn't feel left out or put aside. We also set up some play dates with our grandparents and with their friends so they could come out of the house, experience something more fun than just to sit around with the baby, and come home and have had a full day. The last thing that we also did was we bought a gift for the older siblings from the baby. And this way they bond with the new baby and they start loving them before they even get to know them. It was actually just this time around that our now 8-year-old realized that the gift he'd gotten from his little sister when he was 2 wasn't actually from her. But he really loved her for it, and for years, until he was 7, he loved that gift that he got from her. So these are some really good tips that you can use to help the siblings bond with the new baby and also to help them not feel left out. Tip number 8 is to ask for help. So has it happened to you that people say, hey, let me know if I can help with something?
It has, actually, multiple times. But it's always so hard what to say because you just smile and say, oh, thank you, but I don't really know what can I ask them to help me with because this is my first child and I don't know what to expect always.
Exactly. And a lot of people feel this way. So something I did that helped really a lot was to say, yes, thank you. Can I put your name down on a list and then have my husband call you if we need help with something? And then people can suggest themselves, yeah, I'd like to help with cooking or cleaning or watching your kids. This way it takes the awkward right out of it because when it comes time to you needing help, you don't have to call them and say, hey, remember how you said you wanted to help? It's someone else who wasn't part of that conversation that calls and says, I have a list here that says that you would like to bring dinner. Can you do that on Thursday? So this really helped us a lot, and it wasn't awkward for me or really my husband either because people had already said yes and it was down on a list. I made a little printable about this for you, so I'll give it to you in a little bit. But if you want the same printable, then go to the link below, download that printable, and while you're at it, remember to like and subscribe. We make helpful content like this every week. Tip number 9 is to get a project done. This might not be for everyone, but some people get really antsy when a long time has passed and they haven't really got anything done or accomplished. And let me tell you, when you have a baby, you won't get anything done or accomplished in the first little while. So my tip is to get a project done ahead of time. Either go through your basement storage or make sure that the shed out front is all cleared out. Something that you can go back to once you start feeling antsy and be like, oh, but we just did this right before the baby came. And I know that you guys just went through your basement, which is something that's been bothering you and your husband for a while. So once the baby comes and you or your husband start feeling like, oh, we're not getting anything done, then go back in your mind and think, oh, but we did just go through our basement storage. Let's go take a look at that. Okay, so let us know what you did.
Okay, welcome to our basement room. Basically, we used to have a lot more stuff in here. It's still a little cluttered. But one of my husband's big passion is fishing, which meaning we had fishing equipment everywhere, and now we had to make room for a baby. And most of all, we had to make room for a stroller, so we were able to bring it in and out easily. And then we keep the stuff that she's not gonna really need for the next 6 months, but it's easy access. Bigger clothes, toys, and bigger blankets. And it was just really nice to get to clean out this basement because we got to throw so much stuff out that we didn't need and we haven't missed since.
Tip number 10 is the birthing announcement. So once you've had the baby, you probably have a few people you want to say you had a baby to. So instead of texting 10, 20 people individual messages with pictures about your baby, what you do is you create a group on your phone or on Messenger with all these people in it, so you only have to send one message. Or even have someone else be the one to send it on.
Smart.
In this way, you can focus on what's most important right when you had a baby, which is spending time with that baby. Yeah, so if you know anyone else who's also pregnant, then share this video with them because they might benefit from it as well. Recording item. Okay.